Good afternoon. My name is Edward Regal. I am in Dr. Jose Arache's class for the Capstone, Management Capstone. Today we're going to be talking about Florida's current law events, the reasons for it, and what we should be looking out for. Over my career, I've gotten involved in the state system, and since then I've gotten really interested into the legal system and how the law is perceived and what happens when our legislators create laws and do laws, and the ramifications in the future on how these laws are created. Florida's laws are created for a reason. Each law is either for a problem, showing how to handle a situation, to define a situation, or to benefit a common goal. The legislation in Florida lasts from the months of March to the month of May, with the governor signing each law before the end of July. These sessions are usually a roller coaster ride. They start out as being simple, and they always turn into being a major issue. Some of the major areas of concerns this year are your traffic cameras, your daylight savings time, and internet cafes. These areas have shown major issues for the public as well as the government. And one of the minor areas of concern is the state employee pay. State employees are something that most people don't understand, don't realize. Traffic cameras, there are many areas that we look at. You start seeing them in our local cities in Orange Park, Green Cove, and now in Jacksonville. There are two sides to these cameras. Each side have some good points to bear. The against side, a lot of people think that they're just around to be making money and nothing else. And they also say that because of this, people slam on their brakes and cause more rear-end crashes than they do regular crashes. And they stop the crashes. The pro side says that these areas where the lights are put up, the cameras are put up, are that they will save lives, and because they were high crash areas, they will lessen the crashes, and it also frees up law enforcement to patrol these corners of high crash areas to make sure people don't run red lights. In actuality, both sides are correct. These cameras do stop crashes at these major intersections, some of the massive crashes that have happened. And they also do make money. And we're here. The legislators are there to not only provide for the public, but also provide for the state. Florida House Bill 1061 would prevent the use of these cameras to cite those who illegally turn right on red, and then set minimum times for the yellow lights to display, and then give drivers more ways of legal battles. This is very important for anyone because of the cameras show if a company has a truck out that they go by these intersections and they snap the shots of the cameras. If drivers aren't being mindful of the red lights or anything, the company gets cited. So it's a major issue for companies. Next area is daylight savings time. Legislators have felt that daylight savings time is not needed anymore, and we need to stop falling back every year. The sign that it was started to save energy, and it really hasn't. Some of the drawbacks to this is doing business out of state, and those out of state doing business with Florida, because their time is going to be different. The state feels like it'll be a larger impact to the state because it gives us more daylight, and it gives the ability for people to come down and relax and enjoy themselves in the state. Florida Senate Bill 382 is called the Sunshine Protection Act, and this is the one would stop in the fall for the turn the clocks back an hour. We would essentially stay during summertime, and then for the businesses, the customers, and the businesses would have to adjust that, because the state of Georgia, the state of Alabama, any other states that do business with Florida would have to realize, hey, their time's completely different than our times. The next area of concern is internet cafes. As you've seen in recent news broadcasts, internet cafes have been a major problem, including bringing down one of the major internet cafes with big-time people, large lawyer and president of the FOP and vice president of the FOP. These problems have been expounded because of this. Many feel that these cafes are nothing but an organized crime, gambling organization, and they bring in corruption. So that's where the people that do not like these, for those that frequent these locations, they enjoy it. They say it's nothing but a relaxing time, and they enjoy their stuff, and they like to socialize with the people that go there. Florida Senate Bill 1030 would begin to regulate these businesses. In fact, they actually shut them down. This law was specific guidelines on how these operations were to be legally operated. However, they recently changed that to include where they are not going to be operated anymore in the state of Florida. They are illegal. The last area is a minor area for most people, but a major area for those that work in the state of Florida. State employee pay. State employees have not seen a true, honest-to-God pay raise in over 20 years. That means that when you start out, you start a pay, and you continue up through our pay band to the higher pay. What we have seen is the raising of the lower pay band, whereas the bottom pay, when you start out 20 years ago, you're going to be making the same pay today, and a 20-year veteran will make the same pay as a brand new person starting out tomorrow. This has become a pay compression issue, and it's really hard for the state. State employees do not like that. They feel that their work needs to be honored, and this year the state actually feels that. The state loses money every year. The worst side about it, the state loses money every year due to the loss of the trained professionals in the higher paying companies, to higher paying departments, and so on. In the early 1990s, this is when the step pay plan stopped. In a sense, we've only seen raises that would raise the minimum salary, cost of living that raises the minimum salary. It has created a serious compression problem, and veterans with over 20 years of experience are making minimum compared to their counterparts in other agencies and other departments and other outside units. So this problem has caused our experienced and qualified officers and employees to leave and go to other jobs and other departments. Florida Senate Bill 1180 would essentially give all state employees a 7% pay raise, and it had been the first since 2007 another pay raise. But this pay raise is unique because it's not raising the minimum salary, it's raising everyone's salary as of July 1. And if you're hired after July 1, you would start at the minimum salary, not at 7% higher. So the state is bleeding money to this, and it costs everyone in the state, it costs the normal public. So if you keep training people, you keep losing them, you're training people for other departments. One law can change. If one law changes, to summarize, if one law can have a lasting effect on customers and businesses, companies can win and lose by what bills are being turned into law. And the companies and consumers need to keep up with these different bills and laws passed each year, and the elected official passing these laws, so they can have a more sense of what's happening every year. Are there any questions to how I've portrayed this, or anybody have any questions on the events that have happened so far this year? Thank you.